Yeah.
All right, welcome everybody. This is Young Black Kings podcast, episode 2. Thank you for everyone who made the first episode such a huge success. I'm very, very appreciative to everyone who went out and downloaded, who listened. The last 24 hours have been absolutely amazing. On the phone, I have my brother, my partner in crime, my best friend, Tracy. Say what up, man.
Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to the kingdom.
So, Tracy, everyone heard me talk last week. I'm going to give you a little bit of chance to talk about yourself, introduce yourself, let everybody know what you bring to the table here.
Okay. What's going on, young people? Not even just young people. What's going on, my young, or not even young, so what's going on, my kings and my queens of this generation? Like you said, this is my brother. We have this podcast together. We're going to set out some good content for y'all to listen and to understand where we're coming from. That's why we're going to put this together for y'all. Me and Chris met back in Colorado, playing football together. We just click automatically because we had this bright idea that we're going to be successful someday, right? So when we have put our two minds together, it was like, yo, let's make it happen. Let's do what we're supposed to do and just blemish the world. Let's show people that we're not this statistic that everyone set us out to be, right? So we set ourselves apart. We put in the work. We're here now, and we're still continuing to grow. Even at our age, as people want to call 30 years plus, it's old. But there's nothing wrong with being consistent in your growth. That's what I want to talk about today. You know, so I'm pissed about it. Chris, to be honest with you, it makes me think why we have so little people, or so many people, decide that let me just stop doing what I'm doing to pursue something else.
Speak on it, man. Go ahead.
Like, let's be honest though. Why are you inconsistent in your life when you have everything that's laid out for you? And my thing about it is that we can go back and say that, because I don't have the resources, or I live in this area, low poverty, or because the color of my skin, or the way that I speak and carry myself. Like you was talking about last episode, first impression. First impression is the last impression, everything like that. But at the same token, there's many people in the world that can look at themselves and just literally say that, okay, I have put so much time and I have invested myself to become this person that I said that I want to be. I'm going to stop now because it's just too much. I'm not progressing, right? But the thing about it is that before you can progress, you have to struggle.
Yeah, for sure.
And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that before you progress, you have to struggle, right? And my point is that what people fail to realize that we don't understand the key word, effort. You look around, you see all these people put in that type of effort that you want to put in, but you don't know where to start. You start with yourself. You start by looking in the mirror and taking off all these masks that you have on your face, on your body, and all that. You strip yourself naked. You look at yourself for what you are, for what you're willing to become. I say that a lot because people don't know anything about sacrifice. Sacrifice who you are. Be naked, in a sense. Have this foundation that you said that you want to start. And you start with you. You start with being consistent. You start with my word is bond. You start with promises to yourself. You start with your vows, right? And later in the episodes when we talk about vows and marriage and all that, then I'm going to get to that point, but I'm talking about the marriage to yourself first. You got to love yourself in order to become this person that you said that you want to become. You have to love the struggle. In order for you to be successful, you really have to love the struggle. You got to understand at the end of pain is always going to be success. Why are you inconsistent in the dynamics of being successful? Why? And then, why are you upset when you wake up in the morning? Chris, let me ask you this. When you woke up this morning, right?
Yeah.
You know, after Halloween and everything like that, you know, most people, they be like, man, last night I was drunk and all that, and nothing wrong with drinking, but what's right with, right? Because at the next day, you have to get up and do the same thing that you did previous in the morning. You have to go to work, right?
Right.
Why are people upset that they have to get up?
It boils down to this, man. A lot of people, I heard this a long time ago. It said the richest place in the world is the graveyard, and the reason being because you have a lot of dreams that are unfulfilled, a lot of stories never written down, a lot of songs never sung, books never written. And it's because we lived in this monotonous, we have to get up, we got to go, go to our job, do a job that we hate to pay for things that we don't get a chance to enjoy, like our cars, our houses, just the little things. Because we were doing all these things that we have to do as part of being, an adult, being a person. You gotta eat, you gotta live and stuff like that. So, but a lot of us are unhappy. And then it brings me to another quote that, Bruce Lee had said one time. He says, "I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kicks one time, but I fear the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times." What we get so lost up in, we're trying to do everything. We're trying to be, the next best Michael Jordan. We're trying to be that next great rapper. We're trying to be all these different things that society is saying, "Oh, we got to do these," but no one is actually focusing on themselves and what they want to do and what they were put on this earth to do. And that's what you end up getting upset about, because you're not fulfilling the things that you know that you need to be doing, because you're doing everything else.
Nah, I feel that. You know why I feel that, though? It's because this specific reason right here. The fact that you can get up every morning and you can cry, you can be upset, you can be hateful, and you still can be in the same position that where you once were. And you laying in your bed every single day. Listen to me. You laying in your bed every single day, hating that, being ungrateful, is where you're going to end up when you stay deep, laying in your bed, laying in your coffin, right? Not fulfilling your dream, so to speak, your quote-unquote dream, right? But this is the great thing about it, though. All that time that you're wasting, sitting in your bed wishing for something different, you can actually be going out to do something different. The first moment that you have a negative thought, it should be like, nope, I don't have that thought. I can take the time that I'm having these negative thoughts, and I can put it out into the universe and change my perspective and say, okay, that negative thought can change into action. That's the beauty of it. You can change everything about yourself if you revert your negative thoughts, just thinking and being idle, because the devil is always busy in your idle time. And you can put it into action.
That reminds me.
That's like how you were saying. Like what you were saying with Bruce Lee and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I feel the man that practiced one kick 1,000 or 10,000, 100,000 times, right? Because he gets up and he practices. The more that you practice at being great, the better off you will be. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, that effort in itself can change your perspective to you to be great. Let's be great in the things that we do in order for us to be successful. That's why I'm saying that if you decide that one day that, okay, yesterday I almost quit because I was struggling, but I have to realize that through struggle I can progress. Frederick Douglass said, right? I can change my perspective on how I think about negative thoughts and turn them into action. It's simple. As simple as it is. A lot of people don't do it though.
It is real simple. One of my business mentors, his name is Ed Blunt. I met this gentleman about 4 years ago at it's a network marketing convention. He's a public speaker. He's gone on the road and he's toured with Les Brown and people like that. He's written books. He's former actor. And one thing he told me that stuck out, he said, as soon as you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want takes over. Basically, what I took that to mean is, we talked about a few minutes ago about how we want all these things. We want the cars, we want the lifestyle, but we're not willing to put in the work, or we are willing to put in the work, but then we get sidetracked with everything else the world wants us to do involved with that. So as soon as we stop getting up and working towards that dream, working towards that goal, the mindset of the world sets in and says, you know what? What you want no longer matters because what we want is going to take over. So you got to keep fighting and working for what you want, because eventually someone is going to win, whether it's going to be you or it's going to be the world. It's just your choice whether who ends up winning at the end of the day.
Right. Exactly. I heard it from I heard it from Nipsey Hussle the best, and he heard it from somebody else, and it's crazy because the things that we hear, we can pass it down to everybody else. People who don't hear it have a chance to hear it from us. But I heard it from Nipsey. He said, would you rather be at war with yourself and at peace with the world, or at war with the world and at peace with yourself? Right? And I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want to elaborate it because I want people to actually understand it before I try to explain it. And if you come back to the podcast, just listen to it. Right? I think in itself that we can just look at what we're seeing throughout the world, and it's always something that we can improve on. But because we're so at war with ourselves, we never have peace. We'll never have peace because we're always battling ourselves. And that's like I said, I don't want to speak on it too much, but because I want to come back to it. But we really got to understand that life is not going to be easy if you decide that you want to be great. I put the quote up not too long ago on our Facebook page saying that good is a sin when God called you to be great. And you got to let that sit with you for a little bit. Like, what you mean? Good is a sin when God called you to be great. Isn't God good? Yeah, God is good, but He had called you to be great.
It's just like with any parent, you want your children to be better than what you were, and you're saying like, but Chris, you're like, that's God. Like, why would He want you to be better than Him? Because at the end of the day, like, if you're spreading love and doing the things that He set out, then you are being better than Him, because then you're bringing more people to that love and that goodness.
Right. Totally right, man. And it's upsetting to sit here and talk about these things because we can see the change in the world and how so many people are affected by it, and how it's put out into the world as such a negative thing that if we look at it, who's affected by it the most? Right? Like, who's become the liability of the life? Are younger people, because they see how much little effort their parents are putting in, or how little effort their mentors are putting in. So why should they put in that same effort? And I was looking at it because the way that I perceive liability, I think it's a person who, or a thing, whose present or behavior is likely to cause embarrassment. Like, really? Liability, that's what I looked at. Liability is a person that can cause embarrassment. If I count on you to get up, to work, to be great, I need that accountability. But if you become a liability, if you're going to be an embarrassment in life, I can't have you.
Yeah.
I can't have you. And it's all a mindset. I'm saying? It's that attitude that I hold you up to a higher standard than everybody. It's like a job interview. You can come in, like you said, your first impressions. You come in,